This is Tierzoo. It's a YouTube channel that takes animals and gives them ratings as if they're a character from a video game. And today, we're checking out apparently one of the most overpowered animals on the planet, scorpions. Check this out. It's a grasshopper mouse and a scorpion. Is this like, what, Dead Souls? I never played that game. I should probably play it. And he just one-shot. Oh, poor mouse. GG! GG! Run it back! Run it back!
Are one of the most intimidating builds in the game. They're also one of the oldest, and have been in the game since before the devs even added the terrestrial server DLC. Their combination of powerful claws and deadly stinger create an imposing threat to anyone looking to challenge them in combat.
Dude, that monkey
But
does
has their
not
ancient
care.
strategy held up in the face of the immense power creep the game has seen? Let's take a closer look at the stats and abilities scorpions employ, and ultimately decide where they fall on the tier list. This video was made in partnership with CuriosityStream.
This is so sick. There's a whole tier list.
The Scorpion's stats are fairly decent across the board. Nothing completely overtuned, but not really lacking in any
Intelligence,
areas
power,
other than
defense.
mobility
I feel like there needs to be a special ability category. Like, these are general stats, but then, for example, like Pokemon, they have their stats, but then they also have a move set and ability, and that plays a big factor on how powerful that Pokemon actually is. In this case, honestly, I'm not very impressed with these stats, given that its intelligence is essentially atom-level intelligence. It's not very mobile, but it does have really good power, defense, and stealth. However, what I'm not sure is taken into consideration is the fact that it can poison other animals, which eats their bodies from the inside out and turns them into, like, flesh-eaten corpses. Literally disgusting. Who knows? Maybe he'll bring it up.
Their power is obviously quite strong, as the Scorpion sports multiple types of damage-dealing equipment. Their claws act as potent grappling weapons, which can also deal minor crushing and slicing damage. Their Venom Sting is their ace move, though, being able to one-shot most players if the move
right in the
connects.
forehead.
Big if there, but we'll come back to that.
I used to not think mice were cute, but watching this and watching them close up, they're pretty adorable. I can't even lie.
Their defenses are quite sturdy.
Oh, look at that thing.
Though they
What
sport
is that?
fairly standard chitin armor found in most arthropod builds. This
It's
is all
using
they
the
really
RuneScape
need to be able
hit
to
marks.
deflect most attacks from players within their own weight class, giving it ample time to counterattack with its piercing stinger. It gets easily crushed by larger foes, however. This armor
Bro just got Chris Brown. That is crazy. That is one thing. I feel like if we're doing an objective tier list on all animals, surely insects have to be very low on the totem pole, even the strongest ones. For example, like what animal, like what insect can 1v1 a human? Like, yes, there are some things that can do damage, like for example, a hornet. Ow, it stings you, ow. But generally, in a 1 versus 1, a human is going to destroy a hornet or a tarantula, for example. But I guess actually scorpions are not insects. Ah, God, so many people are gonna hate me. Actually, I googled it and they're arachnids, which are not insects, but they're like spidery, which is close. Come on. They're arthropods, though. Okay.
Armor is also
All right.
crucial for avoiding passive environmental damage from things like sandstorms, which are common in the biome's Scorpion main's favor. Despite the fact that humans have a way to completely negate the Scorpion's camouflage, against most opponents, the Scorpion's stealth is quite effective.
We do? What is the human's way to do it? Wait, what?
In addition to camouflage, the Scorpion's flat shape allows it to easily wedge itself into more defensible positions.
Yo,
and
wait,
their
that's
digging ability
cool.
enables them to take cover in a pinch, which is good because stealth is basically their only option against more powerful players. They have very little defense against attacks from larger builds. You'd think their potent venom would make for an effective deterrent against attacks, but as we'll see, this defense falls apart rather quickly when it's truly tested. Their intelligence being
Well, what I don't get is how another animal can eat it, because it still is eating the poison of it, and so shouldn't they still get poisoned? Like, why does it have to get stinged in order to get poisoned? That doesn't make sense. I guess there's a lot of animals that are immune to the poison. That's the only thing that would add up.
below average is no surprise. Intelligence builds weren't viable at all when Scorpions were first added to the game. And while it's by
He's
far the most power-crept
treating
stat in the
Earth like
game
it's a
now,
game.
back during the Ordovician expansion, intelligence as a strategy was largely ignored, and most players didn't level it beyond the point of granting basic sensory capabilities. So with all that said, Scorpions are a solid build with a straightforward strategy and a respectable history. However, as alluded to earlier, power creep has massively undercut the viability of Scorpion builds. A good player will have very little difficulty playing around the Scorpion's strengths and exploiting its major weaknesses. So let's talk about those weaknesses.
That is true, though. He brings up a great point that, like, back in the old days, well, still, I guess today, animals are really dumb. It's kind of like Fortnite, where once people started to learn to build, then people knew, like, okay, hold on, building is the meta. Now we're gonna be really good builders. That's kind of what happened with animals, where now, like, monkeys are pretty smart, dolphins are pretty smart, octopi are pretty smart, and then humans, obviously, are relatively smart. What I'm trying to say is building in Fortnite is intelligence in the real world.
The straightforward nature of the Scorpion's strategy is great for new players to be able to learn quickly. The Scorpion's core strategy is to grapple an opponent, immobilizing them so that the Scorpion's sting attack can connect without issue.
Is a scorpion stinger its butt, or is it a tail? Like, is it booty jabbing these things, or is it tail stabbing them? These are shower thoughts that I have.
The problem is, if they miss their grapple attempt, things can get dicey pretty quickly. Without claws holding the target in place, the venom sting attack has a pretty terrible accuracy rate. It's easily dodged, blocked, or avoided.
Oh, look, he's so cute.
This stinger is not a disjointed hitbox. It can be damaged just the same as the rest of the Scorpion's body. In fact, when dealing with a Scorpion, this is the optimal strategy. Scorpion claws are fairly weak compared to other clawed arthropods. Hermit crabs and lobsters can both deal far more damage via their vice grip attacks. Scorpions rarely deal lethal damage in such a way, so if an opponent attacks and disables their stinger, it's often game over for the Scorpion.
It's a one-trick pony. It only has one strat, and once that's compromised, it's over. It's GG.
Scorpions also have very little counterplay when faced with multiple opponents.
Dude, no, you can't that in chickens.
Or AoE attacks, and no means of quick escape, they're quickly overwhelmed from a multi-directional onslaught.
That is true. That is actually a really good point. This is a very good 1 versus 1 animal, but it's not a good 1v multiple animal.
Their grab attacks are also not as effective as they need to be at times. Because they mostly rely on the pointed ridges of their claws to maintain grip, armored targets that can resist being punctured by these spines can often slip right out of their grip with ease. Not that the Scorpion had much hope of landing a sting against a target with high puncture resistance anyway. Now let's talk about matchups. First, the bad, of which there are many. The Scorpion's worst matchups are going to be builds that spec into puncture-resistant armor or venom resistance. Several mammal builds, like the Shrew and Mongoose, opt for venom resistance solely for the purpose of subverting the Scorpion's defenses.
Oh my god, it's just eating it.
A borderline unwinnable matchup. The round shape of beetle armor is perfect for deflecting sting attacks.
Oh my gosh.
And extremely difficult to secure via grappling.
Bro, the animal kingdom is actually crazy. These are literally real life Pokemon. And some Pokemon counter other Pokemon perfectly to where there's literally nothing you can do against it. It's literally like taking a poison type and telling it to attack a steel type. It doesn't work. It literally does zero. Nothing. It's useless. And in this case, Scorpions are pretty defenseless, or I guess attackless, to quite a few animals. Unfortunately though, they still can't hurt humans, okay? We are not defenseless. No, we are still weak to Scorpions. Okay, so don't go around grabbing them and messing with them, because they will sting you and they will puncture you and they will hurt.
Beetles tend to also be fairly lacking in their offensive stats, so it is rare to actually be defeated by one. But as a hunting target, they present quite a challenge.
Those ones are so cool. They like throw the beetles off the edge.
Costs, as Scorpions have no outs against a swarming attack.
What a terrible way to die.
Birds have high accuracy on their pecking attacks and are often quite good at targeting their stingers. Their quick movement presents very little opportunity for counterattack, making this a tough matchup. Certainly not impossible though, as one hit from the stinger is likely enough to KO any bird.
Wait, why is a bird even attacking a scorpion? I thought that they eat worms? I mean, I assume they eat other things too, like maybe some bugs, but like, do these things eat scorpions? Since when do scorpion-eating birds exist? What planet am I living on?
And their feathers provide zero puncture resistance. Reptiles are kind of a toss-up. An attack from a lizard or snake
that thing just
is usually
is picking it up and eating
to
it.
deal heavy damage through the scorpion's armor. However, these attacks usually present ample opportunity for a stinging counterattack too. If it connects, it may one-shot the reptile, but
really?
not before it has already dealt potentially lethal damage anyway. Scale armor is also somewhat puncture resistant, so this, combined with the sting's low accuracy, means these fights tend to favor the reptile. For good matchups, scorpions are actually quite effective against spiders.
I was starting to think like, okay, so what are scorpions actually good against? Mice? That's the only thing I've seen so far, but I guess they're good against spiders as well.
Strong armor and need to get in close to deliver their own lethal strike.
Oh my god, yeah, that one landed.
counterattacks.
That one, he's got a bubble popping out of him.
But it's difficult for a spider to web down all 3 weapons, especially since the claws can slice through silk. Scorpions are also fairly decent at defending themselves from mammals
No
like
way,
cats
cat.
and dogs, as their claws cannot do much damage against the scorpion's armor, but the scorpion can easily counterattack for lethal if the mammal gets too careless. There are a few abilities.
Well, why though? Like, I really want to know what's going on inside some of these animals' heads. Like, why are you even attacking the scorpion? Since when do dogs and cats eat scorpions? Like, what is going on? Are they just doing it for fun? I don't get it.
These, I think, could turn scorpions into a top-tier threat.
What?
A more versatile grappling option would be a solid start. Their claws struggle to secure opponents with puncture resistance or round shape, both of which are fairly abundant in the current meta. But there are plenty of other grappling techniques they could spec into instead of pincher claws. The Velvet Worm's glue spray attack could work well to immobilize prey, though this might not be super effective when trying to pin a player to a sandy surface. They could spec into the sort of tether grab attack like the Chameleon uses, though this requires a level of precision and accuracy that I don't think the Scorpion's current perception perks can quite support. Scorpions could really benefit from catching up to the other arthropods who run the Compound Eyes perk, as this would really help alleviate their accuracy problem.
Hey, Compound Eyes is an ability in Pokemon. Just saying, and a lot of bug Pokemon get it. Just saying, he's pretty much making a Pokemon Scorpion. Is there a Scorpion Pokemon? And then I get, oh, there's Drapion. I wanna look at Drapion stats and see if they match up. Not really, to be honest with you. I mean, the attack and defense is there, but Drapion is way too fast, according to this guy. Wait, never mind. He said that oh wait, yeah, no, that's true. His speed is very far down, according to this guy. Luckily in Pokemon, there is no intelligence stat, because if there was, Drapion would be, really dumb, I think.
One strat I think would work really well would be to min-max for the burrowing playstyle a bit more deliberately. The Antlion's playstyle of building a trap could be really effective, and the Scorpion is already fairly decent at digging holes.
That would be a smart play, but the problem is scorpions are idiots, as we've already discovered. So I don't know if it'll ever actually learn this strategy.
Protection of staying out of sight would help against some of their worst matchups too. As they are now though, to be honest, I do think scorpions have been power crept pretty hard, and that their glory days of being a top meta threat are long gone. Their powerful grab sting death combo is still quite powerful, but their strategy is too easily subverted to make a dent in high-level play.
Other animals have just evolved too far for the scorpion, it seems.
I place them firmly in D tier on the tier list. Nonetheless, scorpions are a fascinating build that I do hope eventually get buffed.
If you guys want me to check out some other animals that Tier Zoo has ranked, let me know which ones you want to see by leaving a like and comment that down below. And of course, if you guys do want to watch another epic video, make sure to click this one right here.